Have you ever wondered if there's more to your imagination than just daydreaming? Well, guess what? Your imagination is like a magical key that can open doors to incredible spiritual experiences. It's not just for making up stories or planning your next vacation. Your imagination is actually a powerful tool for connecting with the spiritual world and growing as a person. When we tap into our imagination, we can unlock a whole new level of understanding about ourselves and the universe around us. Think about it for a moment. Every great invention, every beautiful piece of art, and every spiritual breakthrough started with someone using their imagination. It's like having a superpower that we often forget we have. But here's the exciting part. We can all learn to use this superpower to enhance our spiritual lives and make our everyday experiences richer and more meaningful. Now, here's something important to consider. If we don't take the time to nurture and develop our imagination, we might be missing out on some amazing spiritual growth. It's like having a garden, but never watering the plants or giving them sunlight. Without care, our imagination can become dull and lifeless, and we might find it harder to connect with our spiritual side. But don't worry. By learning to unlock and strengthen our imagination, we can open ourselves up to incredible spiritual experiences. We might discover new insights about ourselves, feel more connected to others and the world around us, and even find answers to questions we've been struggling with. It's not always easy, and it takes a bit of practice, but the rewards are truly amazing. Think about how much more colorful and exciting life could be if we allowed our imagination to flourish in our spiritual practice. We might find new ways to meditate, visualize our goals more clearly, or even understand complex spiritual concepts in a way that just clicks for us. The possibilities are endless when we give our imagination the chance to shine. So, what exactly do we mean by spiritual imagination? Well, it's pretty simple. Spiritual imagination is when we use our mind's ability to create images and ideas to explore and deepen our spiritual life. It's like regular imagination, but instead of just thinking about everyday things, we're focusing on spiritual concepts, experiences, and growth. Here's an easy way to think about it. Regular imagination might be used to plan a birthday party or figure out how to rearrange your furniture. Spiritual imagination, on the other hand, might be used to picture yourself surrounded by healing light during meditation, or to visualize sending love and kindness to someone who's having a tough time. Let me give you an example. Say you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed. With spiritual imagination, you might close your eyes and picture yourself standing by a peaceful lake. You can imagine the cool breeze on your skin, the sound of gentle waves, and a feeling of calm washing over you. As you do this, you're not just daydreaming. You're actually using your spiritual imagination to create a sense of peace and connection with something bigger than yourself. This kind of imagination isn't about escaping reality. Instead, it's a way to explore deeper truths and connect with our inner wisdom. It's a tool that can help us understand complex spiritual ideas in a way that makes sense to us personally. And the best part is everyone can do it. You don't need any special skills or knowledge, just a willingness to open your mind and let your imagination guide you on your spiritual journey. By using our spiritual imagination, we can make our spiritual practices more vivid and meaningful. Whether we're praying, meditating, or just reflecting on life's big questions, our imagination can help us engage more fully with these experiences. It's like adding color to a black and white picture. Suddenly, everything becomes more vibrant and alive. As we start to use our spiritual imagination more, we might notice that we become more aware of the beauty and wonder in the world around us. We might find it easier to empathize with others or to see situations from different perspectives. Our spiritual imagination can help us break free from rigid thinking and open us up to new possibilities and understandings. Remember, using your spiritual imagination isn't about trying to see visions or have supernatural experiences. It's simply about allowing your mind to explore and create in ways that support your spiritual growth. It's a natural ability we all have, and with a little practice, it can become a powerful tool for deepening our spiritual lives. So as we continue to explore the idea of nurturing our imagination for spiritual growth, keep in mind that This is something accessible to everyone. You don't need to be an artist or a mystic to benefit from developing your spiritual imagination. All you need is an open mind and a willingness to explore. In the sections that follow, we'll dive deeper into the benefits of developing your spiritual imagination and learn some practical ways to start using this amazing tool in your own life. By tapping into the power of our imagination, we open ourselves up to a world of spiritual possibilities. We can find new ways to connect with our inner selves, with others, and with the greater universe. It's like having a secret passage to a realm of wisdom and insight that's always been there, just waiting for us to discover it. As we move forward, remember that nurturing your spiritual imagination is a journey. It's not about reaching a specific destination or achieving some perfect state of enlightenment. Instead, it's about enjoying the process of exploration and growth. Every time you use your imagination in your spiritual practice, you're strengthening this incredible ability and opening yourself up to new insights and experiences. So, are you ready to unlock the infinite potential of your imagination? Are you excited to see how this powerful tool can enhance your spiritual life and bring more wonder and meaning to your everyday experiences? Great. Let's continue our journey into the fascinating world of spiritual imagination, where the only limit is the boundless creativity of your own mind. Benefits of developing spiritual imagination. Now that we understand what spiritual imagination is, let's talk about why it's so great to develop it. There are some really amazing benefits that come from nurturing your spiritual imagination, and they can make a big difference in your life. And first off, developing your spiritual imagination can help you feel more connected to everything around you. It's like suddenly seeing all the invisible threads that link us to each other and to the world. When you use your imagination in your spiritual practice, you might start to feel a deeper sense of belonging to the universe. It's not just you alone anymore. You're part of something bigger and more beautiful. Another awesome benefit is that it can help you understand yourself better. Your spiritual imagination is like a mirror that shows you parts of yourself you might not have noticed before. Maybe you'll discover strengths you didn't know you had, or understand why you react to certain situations the way you do. It's like having a friendly guide that helps you explore the hidden corners of your mind and heart. Using your spiritual imagination can also make you more creative in solving problems. When you get used to thinking outside the box in your spiritual life, it becomes easier to do the same in your everyday life. You might find new ways to deal with stress, come up with clever solutions at work, or find fresh approaches to old challenges. It's like giving your brain a superpower boost. Let me share a quick story from my own life. A few years ago, I was going through a really tough time and feeling pretty lost. I started using my spiritual imagination during meditation, picturing myself as a strong, healthy tree with deep roots. At first it felt a bit silly, but as I kept doing it, something amazing happened. I started feeling more grounded and confident in real life. That simple act of imagination helped me find strength I didn't know I had, and it got me through some really rough patches. Developing your spiritual imagination can also make your prayer or meditation practice more powerful. Instead of just going through the motions, you can create vivid mental pictures that make your practice feel more real and meaningful. It's like upgrading from a black and white TV to a colorful, high-definition experience. Lastly, nurturing your spiritual imagination can bring more joy and wonder into your life. When you start seeing the world through the lens of your spiritual imagination, everyday things can become magical. A walk in the park might turn into a journey through a sacred forest. Watching the sunset could feel like witnessing a divine painting unfold. It's like rediscovering the sense of awe and excitement you had as a child, but with the wisdom and understanding of an adult. Even though using our spiritual imagination can be so helpful, sometimes we run into roadblocks that make it hard. Let's talk about some common things that might get in the way and how we can deal with them. One big obstacle is doubt. Maybe you've been told that imagination is just for kids, or that it's not important for serious spiritual practice. You might worry that you're just making things up or wasting your time. This kind of doubt can really hold you back. But here's the thing. Imagination is a natural part of being human, and it's been used in spiritual practices for thousands of years. It's not childish or fake. It's a powerful tool for growth and understanding. To overcome doubt, try starting small. Use your imagination for just a few minutes during your spiritual practice and see how it feels. You might be surprised at how helpful it can be. Remember, you're not trying to escape reality or fool yourself. You're using your natural abilities to explore and grow spiritually. Another common block is feeling like you're not creative enough. Maybe you think you need to be an artist or a writer to have a good imagination. But that's not true at all. Everyone has imagination. It's just that some of us haven't used it in a while. It's like a muscle that might be a bit weak from not being exercised. If you're feeling uncreative, start by being curious about the world around you. Look at things as if you're seeing them for the first time. Ask yourself questions like, what if this tree could talk? What would it say? Simple exercises like this can help wake up your imagination and get it flowing again. Sometimes being too busy or stressed can also block our spiritual imagination. When we're always rushing around, it's hard to find the quiet space we need to let our imagination work. Our minds get so full of to-do lists and worries that there's no room for creative spiritual thinking. To deal with this, try to set aside a little bit of quiet time each day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You could do this first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or right before bed. Use this time to let your mind wander and explore spiritual ideas. It might feel unproductive at first, but it's actually really important for your spiritual growth and overall well-being. Fear can be another big block to using our spiritual imagination. We might be afraid of what we'll discover about ourselves or the world if we let our imagination loose. Or we might worry about losing control or going too deep into our spiritual experiences. Remember, using your spiritual imagination doesn't mean you have to dive into the deep end right away. You can start small and go at your own pace. It's okay to set boundaries and take breaks if things feel too intense. The goal is to grow and explore in a way that feels safe and comfortable for you. Lastly, some people find it hard to use their spiritual imagination because they're too focused on doing things the right way. They might worry about following specific rules or techniques perfectly, but spiritual imagination is all about personal exploration and growth. There's no one right way to do it. To overcome this, try to approach your spiritual practice with a sense of playfulness and curiosity. Don't worry about getting things perfect. Instead, focus on what feels meaningful and helpful to you personally. Your spiritual journey is unique, and your imagination is a tool to help you along that journey in your own way. Now that we've talked about the benefits of spiritual imagination and some common blocks, let's dive into a simple exercise you can try. This exercise is great for beginners and can help you start flexing your spiritual imagination muscles. We'll call this exercise the sacred object. It's an easy way to start using your imagination to connect with spiritual ideas. Don't worry if it feels a bit awkward at first. Like any new skill, it gets easier and more natural with practice. Here's how to do it. First, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed for about 10 minutes. Sit or lie down in a relaxed position. Take a few deep breaths to help you settle in and feel calm. Now imagine that you're in a beautiful, peaceful place. It could be a forest, a beach, a mountaintop, or anywhere that feels good to you. Take a moment to really picture this place in your mind. What does it look like? What sounds can you hear? Can you feel the air on your skin? As you're in this peaceful place, imagine that you notice something small on the ground in front of you. It's an object that seems to glow with a soft, warm light. This object is sacred. It holds some special wisdom or power. Slowly reach out and pick up this object in your imagination. Really take your time to explore this sacred object with your mind. What does it look like? How does it feel in your hands? Does it have a smell? Does it make any sound? Let your imagination fill in all the details. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. As you hold this sacred object, imagine that it starts to share its wisdom with you. This might come as words you hear in your mind, or as feelings or images. Don't try to force anything. Just be open to whatever comes. Spend a few minutes with this sacred object, receiving whatever insights or feelings it has to share. Remember, there's no right or wrong here. Whatever you experience is perfect for you in this moment. When you feel ready, gently set the sacred object back down. Take a moment to thank it for its wisdom. Then, slowly bring your attention back to your surroundings. Take a few deep breaths and open your eyes. That's it. You've just done a simple but powerful spiritual imagination exercise. You might want to take a few minutes to write down any thoughts or feelings you had during the exercise. Even if it felt a bit strange or like nothing happened, you were still exercising your spiritual imagination. Try to do this exercise a few times a week. Each time you might discover something new. The sacred object might change, or the wisdom it shares might be different. That's all part of the journey of developing your spiritual imagination. Remember, the goal isn't to have some dramatic, mind-blowing experience, though that can happen. The real value is in regularly practicing using your imagination in a spiritual way. Over time, you might find that it becomes easier to tap into your spiritual imagination in other parts of your life too. This exercise is just one of many ways to develop your spiritual imagination. As you get more comfortable with it, you can try variations. Maybe the sacred object becomes a wise teacher or guide, or perhaps you imagine yourself transforming into an animal or a beam of light. The possibilities are endless. The most important thing is to approach this practice with an open mind and a sense of curiosity. Don't judge your experiences or try to force things to happen. Just enjoy the process of exploring and see where your spiritual imagination takes you. How spiritual imagination connects to daily life. Now that we've explored some exercises to boost our spiritual imagination, let's talk about how this practice can actually make a difference in our everyday lives. You might be wondering, how can imagining sacred objects or peaceful places help me when I'm stuck in traffic or dealing with a difficult coworker? Well, the great thing about developing your spiritual imagination is that it starts to influence all areas of your life in subtle but powerful ways. First, using your spiritual imagination can help you stay calm and centered in stressful situations. Let's say you're having a tough day at work. Instead of getting overwhelmed, you might take a moment to close your eyes and imagine yourself surrounded by a bubble of peaceful energy. This quick visualization can help you feel more grounded and less reactive to the chaos around you. Spiritual imagination can also help you see everyday objects and experiences in a new light. That tree you pass every day on your way to work. With a bit of spiritual imagination, you might start to see it as a wise ancient being with stories to tell. This shift in perspective can bring a sense of wonder and magic to your daily routine. When it comes to relationships, spiritual imagination can be a powerful tool for building empathy and understanding. If you're having a conflict with someone, try imagining what the situation looks like from their point of view. You might visualize walking in their shoes or seeing the world through their eyes. This imaginative exercise can help you approach the situation with more compassion and find creative solutions. Spiritual imagination can even help with problem solving in practical matters. When faced with a challenge, try imagining different possible outcomes or solutions. You might picture yourself successfully navigating the situation or visualize the problem dissolving away. This kind of creative thinking can help you come up with ideas you might not have considered otherwise. In your personal growth journey, spiritual imagination can be a guide and motivator. You can use it to visualize your best self or the life you want to create. By regularly imagining yourself embodying your highest values and achieving your goals, you're more likely to make choices that align with that vision. Remember, using your spiritual imagination in daily life doesn't mean you're escaping reality or ignoring practical concerns. Instead, it's about bringing a sense of depth, meaning, and creativity to your everyday experiences. It's like adding a sprinkle of magic dust to your normal routine, making everything a bit more vibrant and alive. As you get more comfortable using your spiritual imagination, you might want to try some more advanced exercises. Here's one that builds on the skills you've been developing. We'll call it the Inner Wisdom Council. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for about 20 minutes. Get comfortable and take a few deep breaths to relax. Now imagine yourself in a beautiful, sacred space. This could be a grand hall, a forest clearing, or any place that feels special to you. In this space, visualize a circle of seats. These seats are for your inner wisdom council, aspects of yourself or spiritual guides that have wisdom to share. Take your time to imagine each member of this council appearing and taking their seat. They might look like people, animals, or even abstract forms of light or energy. Once your council is assembled, bring to mind a question or issue you've been grappling with. It could be a personal problem, a spiritual question, or a decision you need to make. Share this question with your council. Now imagine each member of your council offering their perspective on your question. Really listen to what they have to say. They might speak in words or communicate through images, feelings, or symbols. Don't try to control what they say. Let your imagination flow freely. After each council member has shared their wisdom, take a moment to thank them. Then, slowly bring your attention back to your surroundings. Take a few deep breaths and open your eyes. This exercise allows you to tap into different aspects of your inner wisdom and explore issues from multiple perspectives. It can provide insights and ideas you might not have accessed through logical thinking alone. Developing your spiritual imagination is like any other skill. It gets stronger with regular practice. Here are some tips to help you make it a consistent part of your life. Set aside a specific time each day for spiritual imagination exercises. Even just 5 to 10 minutes can make a big difference. Maybe you do it first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or before bed. Create a special space for your practice. This could be a corner of your room with a comfy cushion, or even just a specific chair where you sit to do your exercises. Having a designated space can help signal to your mind that it's time to shift into a more imaginative state. Be patient with yourself. Some days your imagination might feel really vivid and flowing, while other days it might feel dull or difficult. That's totally normal. The important thing is to keep showing up and practicing, regardless of how it feels. Keep a journal of your experiences. Writing down what you imagine or any insights you gain can help deepen your practice. It's also fun to look back and see how your spiritual imagination develops over time. Experiment with different techniques. While we've covered a couple of exercises here, there are many ways to use spiritual imagination. Try guided visualizations, creative writing, drawing, or even dancing as ways to engage your spiritual imagination. Connect with others who are interested in spiritual imagination. Sharing experiences and ideas with like-minded people can be inspiring and motivating. You might find a local group or online community to join. Remember, the goal is to make spiritual imagination a natural, integrated part of your life. It's not about forcing yourself to have amazing visions every day. It's about cultivating a sense of openness, wonder, and creativity in your spiritual journey. As we wrap up our exploration of spiritual imagination, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've taken. We've discovered that our imagination is far more than just a tool for daydreaming or planning. It's a powerful gateway to deeper spiritual experiences and personal growth. We've learned that by nurturing our spiritual imagination, we can enhance our connection to the world around us, gain new insights into ourselves, and bring more creativity and wonder into our daily lives. We've explored some common obstacles that might hold us back and found ways to overcome them. Through simple exercises like the sacred object and the more advanced inner wisdom council, we've started to flex our spiritual imagination muscles. We've seen how these practices can be integrated into our everyday routines, transforming ordinary moments into opportunities for spiritual growth and insight. Remember, developing your spiritual imagination is a journey, not a destination. There's no perfect way to do it, and everyone's experience will be unique. The key is to approach it with an open heart, a sense of curiosity, and a willingness to explore. As you continue to nurture your spiritual imagination, you may find that life becomes richer, more meaningful, and full of unexpected beauty. You might discover new depths to your spiritual practice, fresh solutions to old problems, and a greater sense of connection to yourself and the world around you. So I encourage you to keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep opening yourself to the infinite possibilities that your spiritual imagination can reveal. Who knows what wonders you might discover on this journey of unlocking the infinite within you? Thank you for joining me on this exploration of spiritual imagination. May your journey be filled with wonder, insight, and joyful discovery. Remember, the only limit is the boundless creativity of your own mind and spirit. Happy imagining.